Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Beau again. So today, we're going to talk about Johnson hearing from military families. Speaker of the House Johnson got a call while on C-SPAN that might have him reconsidering his position on blocking the vote to pay troops. The call came from a woman who identified herself as Samantha and said she was Republican and a military wife. And it seems pretty representative of the attitudes we've encountered. She blasted Johnson for making 6 figures a year and blocking pay to working class families, saying, quote, "I think that it is awful, and the audacity of someone who makes 6 figures a year to do this to military families is insane." It got worse for Johnson from there. She said, quote, "Just want you to hear a little bit about my family. I have 2 medically fragile children. I have a husband who actively serves this country. He suffers from PTSD from his 2 tours in Afghanistan. If we see a lapse in pay come the 15th, my children do not get the medication that's needed for them to live their life, because we live paycheck to paycheck." At this point, it seems like he probably knew he wasn't going to get any sympathy by talking about how it's really important for Republicans to block the ACA credits that will help keep the cost of health insurance down. She went on, quote, "I'm begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die. We don't have the credit because of the medical bills that I have to pay regularly. You could stop this, and you could be the one that could say military is getting paid." Johnson's response was lackluster, saying, quote, "We had a vote to pay the troops. It was the continuing resolution 3 weeks ago. Every single Republican but 2 voted to keep the government open so that your paycheck can flow. Every Democrat in the House, except for 1, voted to close it. The Democrats are the ones that are preventing you from getting a check." Cool story. But you could tell it again and talk about the other bills supported by the Democrats that would also help people with their health insurance. You know, the one that Republicans opposed. But again, I feel like Samantha wouldn't have been receptive to that. Johnson keeps falling back onto the idea that they've done their job by passing a bill that led to a government shutdown because they decided to go it alone. But what's more important is that a continuing resolution only occurs when the House doesn't do its job. Republicans in the House have had 9 months to pass appropriations, but they spent that time working on the one big, beautiful for billionaires package that left the working class scrambling. Had they used that time to pass appropriations, we wouldn't be in this mess. Giving tax cuts to the wealthy was more important than paying military families, making sure the working class have health insurance, and everything else that got left out so they could pretend it didn't add tremendously to the debt. Johnson has turned into the lightning rod for all of the anger. But let's remember that it's the Republican Party and Trump is calling the shots. Republicans have about 72 hours to come to their senses, or military families will not get paid on the 15th, and they're reminded that D.C. only cares about them when they can use them for props. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.